This is a lot of people don't realize the importance of fasting. I mean, it's very, very important to fast, and a lot of people don't really know how to fast. Yes, there is a correct way to fast and a way that you're not supposed to fast. God, your relationship with God is very intimate. He's a very intimate person, and He's very intimate with each and everybody. Okay, and so there's a lot of things that when it comes to doing things in Christ and for God that you're supposed to do on an intimacy level. A lot of people just letting everybody know too much of what they're doing and when they're doing it, and you're not supposed to do that. Just like when you fast, you're not supposed to tell the people that you're fasting. You're really not. Now, I know that sometimes together the church would get together and they'll do a whole together fasting, and that's kind of fine. But in reality, though, the fasting is an intimate. It's just like your prayers. They're intimate. They're sacred. It's between you and God. Your fast is between you and God. Not only that, but when you go and tell people that you're fasting, you're also telling who else? The enemy. Yes, the enemy. He knows because you letting him know that you're fasting. And what's he going to do? He's going to tempt you more. He's going to, there's going to be somebody that's going to come along in the middle of your fasting and just offer you something, and out of habit, or some people just don't know how to not to say no, and they think, oh, it's going to be rude. You know, you're just going to have to just like be like, no, thank you. You can't say, oh no, I'm fasting. That's a big no-no. You can't tell people that you're fasting, especially while you're fasting. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because I'm super excited to go on these Walking with Jesus Bible studies. I haven't been in a couple of days due to the fact that, and I'm not trying to say this to boast. I'm just, you know, this is the reason why I thought to make this video, because, I hadn't been out in a while. And, it was due to, not to, most of it was because of the rain. It rained for 2 days, and then the other 3 days, I was fasting, and I couldn't really have the energy because I was dry fasting. I was no water, no food, no nothing, and climbing this mountain is a little bit when you ain't got no water and you're already out of breath, and you're by the second day you're pretty weak, you know. But not only that, but you're supposed to be, when you're fasting, supposed to be 24/7 in prayer and in that Bible and any and everything religious the whole entire time. There's a lot of people like, they just in the Bible it clearly says 3 days. There's a lot of people that's, putting certain things on there that there's this kind of a fast and there's this kind of a fast, and you can fast between here and there. It's really up between you and God. But I want to say something. If you need some healing and you need something major or something heavy, I'm going to tell you right now, that 3-day dry fast, that's going to get God's attention. It is. And those prayers are going to be more meaningful, because I can't remember who it was, but in the scriptures there was this lady who was who the king, she ended up marrying the king because the king was already married to this beautiful woman, and she refused to come down and show off herself to the king. And then she ended up being a Jew. She didn't want him to know that she was a Jew. She kept that a secret. And there was that guy that was trying to kill her uncle who raised her. And and I can't remember her name. I want to say it's Esther, but I'm not sure if it's Esther, but I could be wrong, and I don't want to get them mixed up. But anyway, right before she was gonna tell the king that that guy was trying to kill all the Jews and all that stuff, she had to see him. Well, it was forbidden to see the king unless he called you, and so she had to get a hold of him and do this dinner thing so she confront and out that guy who was trying to kill all the Jews. And she told her uncle, she goes, "What I need you to do, it's a death sentence on what I'm about to do. So I need everybody to fast 3 days for me." So she fasts for 3 days, and all the other people fast for 3 days. And almost all in the Bible where it talk about fasting, it was a 3-day dry fast. Now, I mean, now you got Moses and you got Jesus who fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, but they was in the presence of God. Okay, Moses was actually talking to God for those 40 days. Now there's a lot of people out here that's trying to do that, and you know, and that's something between you and God. You know, that could be God's gonna be with you no matter what you do. And but I'm gonna say that has to be something that's gonna be really called to God for you to do that. Some people has pretty much almost died from that. You have to really, you know, that's really something between you and God. That should be when it's something of that length. I think that had to be like something that, you know, that God called you purposefully. He came down like right in front of you and said, we're gonna be face to face, because Moses was face to face with God. And, you know, and Jesus is Jesus. Okay, and we ain't none of us nowhere near close to being Jesus. So that's a big major difference right there. But there's this 3 day dry fast, and there's 7 day dry fast that I hear speak of. And, you know, and that's like I said, it's between you and God. And they got people that says, you know, you can fast with only eating this so much food, and or only drinking water. There is just the drinking the water and no eating the food. But then you got some people putting on there that, you know, you just don't eat these foods and just don't eat these foods. Now I don't know how much about that is true. Clearly in the Bible it doesn't say any. I don't believe so. I could be wrong, but I have never read nowhere in there where there was just you get to pick and choose out of what you got to eat and didn't eat during a fast. Fast means no food, basically. That's exactly what that means. So I don't think, you know, that's just saying, well, I'm gonna follow Jesus, but I'm gonna put all my sins but these two sins. I mean, I don't know. You can read the Bible for yourself and check that part out, but it is very important to fast. Not only that, but here's a, you know, but it's a lot of people find it kind of hard to do. But you know, after you do it so many times, it actually gets quite easy, because when you're spending time and reading that Bible the whole time, and when you're in prayer, God feeds you, and you're really not sitting there all like, oh, I'm starving like that. Actually, I never get any of that when I'm fasting. You know, maybe just once in a while I might feel that, but I pray, you know. Not only that, I thank God for giving me this ever living water, so I'll never thirst again. I thank God for this bread, His word, because that's the bread of knowledge, that's the bread of life. So I'll never starve again, you know. And I say that in my prayers when I'm fasting. But here's another thing when it comes to fasting. Not only does it benefit your relationship with God, but it also helps with aging. I mean, I'm about to turn 47, and I don't look too shabby. I'm not trying to brag and say I'm like, oh, that and 2 bags of chips or anything like that. I'm just saying, you know, I definitely don't look what you would think when you picture those numbers. But it heals your body. It gets some of these cells that attacks your body's a natural healer. God made everything to heal, and you're able to heal yourself naturally. And when you don't eat all that food and consume all that crap that the government has put in there, your body would naturally go through and attack and heal those things that need to be healed, and fix those things and take out all the bad. So it's really beneficial for you, health wise, you know. But anything that you do in God is always benefit, health and everything. I mean, for your, not just your body, but for your mind and your spirit. So anything that you do in God is always going to be beneficial to you, and that's a fact. But you know, you're not supposed to tell people. You're not supposed to let everybody know about it. You just, you know, when you're doing that, people obviously just say no, thank you, and no, I'm all right, and just keep it going. Even if keep on sisters say no, I'm pretty good, or you know, just say I ate. You know, you don't want to lie either, because God hates liars. So you don't want to say, oh no, I just ate something, knowing that you ain't ate nothing in 2 days. So you don't want to be a liar. You just got to say no, thank you. And if they keep pushing, you know, that could be the devil trying to get out of you to see if you are fasting, so he can tempt you more. But you're not supposed to let the enemy know what you're doing half the time. And you got to remember, almost anything that you do in Christ, God is very intimate. It's a very intimate relationship between you and him. So you're not supposed to be sharing everything that you do with your God to any and everybody. Because every time you share to somebody, you're sharing to the enemy. You're letting them know what you're doing. And you're wondering why you keep falling back or keep back in the same spot. So why you feeding the attacks in the same spot? You're giving up too much information. You're opening your mouth too much. Be quiet. Slow to speak, man. Slow to speak. Because the devil is always listening. He can't be everywhere all the time, but he has monitoring spirits. He has other demon spirits that hang around and come back and report to him.